Dude, there's TikToks where people have like Busch Light banana, and it's 100% not real, or it can't be real.
It's like, you know what?
They're like photoshopped packages.
You know what they're doing?
It's almost like you take one sip of alcohol and you just come alive.
Okay.
Welcome to the fucking A Scooter podcast. I can't even hear myself. Oh, you know why? Because I don't even have my mic. It's plugged into the... As you can tell, we are not in the normal Grass Daddies studio. Yeah, hold that for me.
Is that why your deal was so quiet?
What deal?
That's why we could barely hear him on there?
No, it's...
Oh.
No, because... Well, I just had this plugged into the computer because I was trying to test it.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. As you can tell from... It looks like we're sitting on a casting couch right now. I know this scenario may seem familiar, but... If you keep watching, the result that you're used to is probably not going to happen. I mean, I don't know what this. I don't know where this podcast is going to go, but we are not in the normal studio because we are visiting Cam. We're on a little man-cation. By we, I mean me, and we're visiting the old Cam. We're at the old Cam. I don't know. What do you got? You got a nickname for this place?
The Shaggin' Wagon.
The Shaggin' Wagon.
I don't know.
The Shag Shack.
Sure, the Shag Shack.
Is that all? Because that's all you really do here.
Yeah, I usually don't live here. We just actually broke into this house.
You're squatting.
And I kind of told Jake that it was my house, but it's not.
It's not.
I just put a sign on our door that says Wellman, so everybody thinks it's our house. But
well, I hope the real owners don't come back before I have to leave. I don't know. As you can see, we don't have a normal setup here. We don't have our pop filters. So, you all right?
No, they just keep going like.
They keep going in and out?
Yeah.
Well, shove it in. It might not be in all the way. There you go. Again, we don't have our normal shit here, so there may be a couple technical difficulties. I don't know. But we're back with the two. I didn't even do the proper intro. I'm Jake, that's Cam, and we are
the Grass Daddies.
That's why we're now we can, hey, let's lock it in here.
Lock her in all.
Got my udder truck. We don't have the mini fridge here, so we had to provide our own beverages. It is 9 a.m.
Once again, like everything, for some reason, when we first started this podcast, I think everybody's probably heard this story about 4 times, but we just decided let's go record a fucking podcast, and everything wasn't that easy. And so then we also go this morning. We went and got energy drinks. And Jake goes, "Yeah, we could record one before we go golfing." And
which we're doing right now.
Yeah. So now we're here. We're live from the Shag Shack.
From the Shag Shack. But like Cam said, we don't have our normal shit here. So if there's any, I don't know. When we tested it out, the audio seemed really quiet.
Yeah.
But I called back to the regular studio, and
patch me in,
and I looked at my other soundboard because you got a duplicate.
Yeah. To
do this with me. We haven't yet. Again, because we were gonna do the other day, and then we were like, let's just plug it in and go, and then we couldn't just plug it in and go because we figured out that we just not work.
Yeah. That.
So I matched everything to this, and it still seems weird, but we're just gonna roll with it and see what it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big electronic guy.
Right.
So.
Whatever. But you know what it is? You know what it might be actually. Typically, when we record these, we're banged up.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna be. Why don't you put that next to your mouth?
Yeah.
So then we end up being louder. So maybe that's why it comes through louder.
Very true.
Or maybe we fucked something up, and someone's gonna go to listen to this, and they're gonna have their truck at max volume.
They're gonna have their truck at max volume, and then it's gonna cut to the outro music and just fucking rattle the fucking mirror off.
It's gonna be at max volume so they can listen to us with like max bass and everything. And then, did you polish that off already?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm ready
And then
for
they're
a
gonna
beer.
like drive through a tunnel, and they're like Bluetooth is gonna cut out. That's not how that works, but something's gonna cut out, and it's gonna switch back to radio, just blow their windows out.
Mine does that, like, because I have to plug mine in with like my phone charger in my pickup, and yeah, if you bump it right, it'll cut to the radio.
I don't know. I actually kind of like this setup. I like sitting on the old couch. I can kind of lean back a little bit.
Maybe that's what we should do. Is just buy like a
No, it looks like I'm
casting
trying
couch.
to. Looks like I'm about to jerk off like a robot cock
Just,
right in my mouth. Yeah. So
But,
what is this? So you said we should buy a casting couch.
yeah,
What do you mean?
just buy a couch.
Oh,
and-
for the studio?
yeah, and then just get like really long cables, because then just like
We definitely should get longer cables.
yeah.
Anyways.
But yeah, like I'm hardly ever there anyways. But
Well, but I mean, just for the guys that have been graciously standing in for you while
Because
you've been
then-
going on your adventures.
like I don't know, it feels a lot more normal.
Sitting like this
Yeah,
versus
like-
sitting at a table like a prairie dog, like.
It feels
And
like
I'm yelling at you every 5 seconds to move your boom or sit up close or
Yeah.
sit up or stop shitting or.
like I just have a mic. I'm just have a mic in my hand and headphones on, and there's just a camera recording me. But it just feels like a natural.
No one can hear you when you're like, hey, guys, you're right.
It feels like a natural conversation. Like we're just
Except
sitting
that you
here
feel like you're-
shooting the shit and about ready to fucking just.
Except when you feel like you're like in Nickelback and you're holding the mic like a rock star and you're like, what's up, guys? Thanks for coming out to my show.
This is my dog.
I don't know if he's even.
He might be making it.
He might be in the shot. It's all right.
Barely. Hey.
So we had to provide our own drinks because we didn't have the mini fridge. Like I said, it's 9 in the morning because no one drinks this early in the morning. That'd just be crazy.
I was already go grab one.
I know. That's why I said that.
You shitting me? Fuck, it's just one.
Ruger was kind of spooning with me last night a little bit.
Was he?
Yeah. Well, it was mainly this morning.
I know, like
He got up in there and he was licking, I mean, everywhere. He was licking my face and he was licking my pillow and I'm like, hey,
yeah, that's when he's like,
only I can drool on my pillow.
hey yo, ready to wake the fuck up? It's time to like feed me. But yeah, he was like kind of being a little hoe last night. He'd come up, jump in my bed, lay with me for a little bit, jump down, go to your bedroom. I'm like,
He was running a train on us. A cuddle train.
I'm done. See ya.
He's like, let's see if the other guy's got any left.
Boy.
So we're going golfing today. I'm excited.
Yeah. I got Jake playing with some of the guys that I play with, usually on like a regular basis.
So are these guys like gonna be like the guys you play with in league?
Well, they all play league, but yeah, like so we usually
What is like the league format? Like how does that work? Because I've never been a part of a golf
everybody
league
plays
or anything
their
like that.
own ball.
I mean, like, what is the overall setup? Do you have the same partner every time?
Yeah.
Or
So like Ryan, have you met Ryan?
I
yet?
don't think so.
Well, he's my league partner, so it's just us, and then we play 2 other guys every week, like 2 different guys every week.
What day?
Thursday night.
And then is there like a season? Like how long does it go for? Is there like, do you keep track of your wins and then you
so
play for like a trophy or something?
you get points. There's a point a hole, and then at the end of it, you can win total. So like, what I mean by that is, me and you go out today, right?
Yeah.
And we're playing somebody else. If we were doing that format, say you parred and the guy you're playing bogeyed. If you didn't have to give him a shot, like his handicap, you would get a point. And then you just keep getting points as you go. And then at the end of it, you add up those 2 guys' scores and mine and your score. And if we beat them, we get the total point.
Okay.
And then you just get points. And then we have like a leaderboard. like standings, like where you're at.
So then, like towards the end of the season,
Yeah.
is there like a playoff or like a little tournament
There might
between
be.
the
I
top
don't-
players?
I don't know for sure. I haven't like.
So how are you guys doing this year?
We were in first, like first
Really?
4 weeks, and then so we also have. There wasn't enough teams, so everybody has a bye week. But the only thing that sucks is once your bye week, you lose all the points. You don't get any points.
Sure.
So like we went from first to damn near last.
In 1 week?
Yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah. So it is what it is. But
So what's your handicap?
I think I'm a 6 right now.
So you're +6.
No.
Or are you a -6?
I would because technically, in handicap scoring, plus is like 6 under par.
Right.
So I'm a -6.
You get 6 taken off.
Yeah, I get 6 added to my. Well, not added.
Okay,
but
so yeah, for everyone that doesn't understand handicap, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that are like, everyone's like, what's your handicap in golf? Explain what that means.
So handicap is what you typically shoot over. So like ours is based on a 9-hole handicap. So like I'm a 6 and 9 holes for a league. So like it'd be a 12. You double it, be a 12. But the golf course I play at, we actually need to change it to having separate handicaps. Because the back plays easier for some people, and the back plays harder for some people, and some people tear up the front. So it's like you never get a true feel of like your handicap.
Okay, but explain exactly what it means. So like,
Okay, yeah.
a golf course par,
Yeah. So like par could
like
be
layman's terms for people that literally have no idea.
You know, you could be a par 71, par 72, par 65, anywhere in there.
That means the total for that golf
Yeah.
course,
if
the
you
amount of
parred
strokes-
every single hole, you would shoot that.
72.
Yep. And so what your handicap is, what you typically shoot over. So like, say you're always shooting 4 over on the front, you would be a 4.
Let's say you consistently shoot 80 on a 72. What would that make you?
Well, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78. Yeah, you'd be an 8 handicap.
Right. So then when you play against other people,
You could go up to somebody that's like shoots 3 over par all the time, so they'd be a 3 handicap.
right, and you would be
And-
an 8
Yeah, they would give you strokes.
because you're technically worse than them.
Yeah, to make it
So
even.
to make it even,
Yeah.
to make it so basically you're both at your average.
Mm-hmm.
Since if you play enough to where you know exactly what you shoot on average.
I just played in a golf tournament.
It's
last
basically
weekend.
a way to quantify your skill at golf
Yeah.
to make it fair. Because if you were to be terrible and play against someone who's really good, then there would be no competition.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be like if you went and played like against my brother or something. You know, just like straight up.
Right. He'd have to give me like 20 strokes.
You're never gonna fucking
minimum.
win straight up. So, yeah. What was I gonna say? I just played in a golf tournament last weekend, and a guy got 39 shots.
He got
His
39.
handicap was 39.
Sounds like, was it me?
No,
It wasn't me?
you're better than that.
You think I am?
Oh yeah,
Here's the deal.
dude, that's terrible. You could bogey every fucking hole and still shoot even par with a handicap. Under, you could shoot like
Okay.
under par with that.
I don't know. I sometimes have holes where I fall apart.
So, but he comes in, right? And he's not like that bad. He shoots a 42 on the front. It's like you can't I got to shoot like fucking 8 under with my handicap to even
Right.
be close to it. So, but yeah, that's just kind of what handicap is. So today they might actually well, depending on who we play.
Well,
we'll
because here's the
figure
deal.
out, like-
I don't know mine. I don't.
That? Oh,
Someone
she's just
turning around in the drive.
Just sitting here watching us talk to
She's
our
like,
robot
what the
dicks.
fuck are those homos doing? All right. So I don't know my handicap. So if these old guys or whoever we're playing today are just like, how many strokes should we give you? I'm going to be like 20, 30.
I don't know.
35.
No, not that high.
Because I don't know. I don't play enough to where I know what I shoot consistently. And all the golf I've been doing recently has all been like scrambles.
Yeah.
I've been doing scrambles, and then we do match play.
Yeah.
So we're doing hole by hole. So, like, I have honestly I haven't played my own ball playing a round of golf in I don't know how long. So I honestly have no idea if I can break 100.
We'll get it out there. We'll get you
figure it
broken
out.
in today.
And if all goes to plan, we're going to maybe record another one tonight.
Yeah, after.
And we'll be able
round.
to update you guys. So it'd be a week later for you guys, a few hours for us. I still got a shit, dude. I've got
Oh yeah, you never
I've got
did
one
shit.
honking for the right of way behind me. Get over.
But yeah. When was the last time we
Golf together?
that and recorded an episode?
You and I recorded when you and Bailey came for. Didn't we record when she had that wedding makeup? And then we went to Shields?
yeah. Because then Furby and
Yeah, Furby and Trey surprised you on the pod.
yeah. There it is. That's the ticket.
Oh my god. So
But the last time we golfed together, it's been like probably a year now.
yeah, probably wasn't Wilderness. It was might have been like Newmark. I don't know. We played there a couple times.
But it might have been Wilderness. I think it was one of those days they let us go play golf. Was it the last time we
I don't
played
know.
where we...
I don't know, but we can't.
Cut!
Anyways, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, we were looking up because I wasn't sure if where we're going, because we stopped here when we were coming to the Beer Olympics a couple years ago, because your brother was playing in that tournament.
The Haymaker. Mm-hmm.
What is that?
That's like the big tournament of the year. Everybody comes out. It's 2 days. You play your own ball, and there's like 4 or 5 flights.
So I remember stopping for that, but I couldn't remember if that's what the Cozad Country Club was.
Mm-hmm.
And so before I left yesterday, we were looking it up. So it's 18 holes, and it's like 6,000 yards.
Something like that.
Which is kind of short, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not real long. So, like, it's kind of like every other golf course right now. Is they built the front nine and had the front nine long before, and then they built the back nine. So the back nine is like more of a links style.
Oh,
like
okay.
there's not as many trees. The front's just trees. The back has water and tall grass.
But there's a lot of like low maintenance areas, isn't there? From what I can remember.
Yeah. Now.
So this course definitely favors a straight hitter, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, even with the trees. So
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know. I can will myself to not slice it as hard.
Yeah.
I've been working on it.
But I like this. Like, that's why I like Saturdays. Like, we go out and play. And because we always say it's like, oh, yeah, we're playing for quarters. Like, a quarter a hole, and then you can auto press and do all sorts of shit.
Sure.
But at the end of it, it's always the losers just buy a round.
Right.
So it's like kind of competitive. But
it's low stakes.
Yeah, exactly. It's
versus
kind of,
like in league, it's a little more serious.
But I like going out. Well, yeah, kind of. I don't really take it serious. I try to drink as much as I can, but yeah, we just like I like having like a little bit of competition, you know, instead of just going out and just like going out with your friends, dropping 6 balls here and fucking whacking, you know.
Right. So like to touch on that, like I'm in sand volleyball league, right?
Yeah.
And I'm I try a little harder at it than some of the other players, which it's not a serious league.
Yeah.
It's just a way to, like, you know, go out with your friends, get a little exercise.
And drink a little bit.
But it's still, you're playing a sport, right? You're playing volleyball.
Yeah.
And what's the objective of a sport?
To win.
To score points and score
win.
more points than the other team.
Yeah.
So if the objective is essentially to win, when you lose, it's like you failed the objective. So it's still fun going through the process of playing and being out there with your friends. But if you're just getting dog walked every week,
yeah,
or you're getting, you know, all right, we had to cut right there because my alarm went off. I don't know why I was expecting. Well, I mean, 9:30. That's a pretty decent sleep in.
I didn't know what you're playing. Like you said, it's kind of your vacation. I'm like,
you weren't gonna be like,
you know,
you got to be up at 7 because we got shit to do. We got to go into the water treatment.
Yeah, no,
fucking scrub some pipes.
But
I love how my impression of you is just like a southern
old guy
that just like eats chew.
Just
like, we're gonna go into the water treatment plant. We're gonna clean out some critters.
But
my alarm just was going off, and this has happened a couple times where like my mom will call me right when we're recording, and I'm like, nah, like
it's
what?
always like me. Like every time I call you, you know what you got going on.
What's up, Ruger? It's always like I don't know. I was like, what are the odds that she's fucking calling right now?
Yeah, no shit. Like 9:30.
We should call them and tell them what's up, though.
Yeah,
they don't even know I'm here.
Well, what are you guys doing for the 4th?
We're going to Norfolk.
Oh, there you go.
So nothing with you.
That's all right.
We could maybe do something because I think maybe on the 3rd I might go over to like Trace's.
Yeah.
Trace and Alyssa's because they live in a cul-de-sac.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, and this is what we should. You know what? This is the topic we should talk about. Small town vibes. Since we're in a small town right now. Talk about small town vibes because I feel like the 4th of July in a cul-de-sac is like a perfect encapsulation of small town vibes.
It's good and bad. Small town vibes are good.
Okay,
and
give
bad.
give us the pros and cons because you live in a small town.
You know everybody.
The pros and cons.
You know everybody, and you know everybody's business, but also everybody knows your business.
So is knowing everyone's business a pro?
No.
And everyone knowing your business is definitely a con.
Like, because there's, like, some real pieces of work in our town.
Okay. Name them by name and tell them what no.
And it's just like,
we don't have to talk about this either.
I didn't think, you know, like, you don't think these people are that bad at people until you realize they're, like, you hear stories about what they do, and you're like, yeah, you're a piece of shit.
Until you see them shooting up and hitting their spouse or something in their backyard, and then they're like, "You coming over later for a beer?" And you're like,
"Fuck no,
you're not who I thought you were."
Yeah, kinda. But yeah, I mean, it's good.
The camaraderie element is what I love about a small town.
Yeah, and like since my job that I do is everybody sees you, so everybody kind of knows. Oh yeah. That's
There's that kid that's always covered in shit.
That's kind of the other thing, though, is like it kind of sucks because in the end you kind of have to watch your P's and Q's everywhere you go because of my job.
Right.
Because like everybody's gonna be like, oh, that's the kid that works for the city, and then if you do something stupid, everybody's gonna know about it. So.
Right.
But that's why I just go to a different town and just be a degenerate. No, I'm just kidding. But
tips and tricks, folks. Tips and tricks.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. Bailey wishes we still lived in Lincoln, but
that is a conversation for not being recorded.
Just because for the money aspect.
Do you have like a 4th of July blowout here, or do people kind of?
Yeah, there's like spots in town. Really, we have that lake I showed you yesterday. That's in town.
Oh yeah.
They light off fireworks. The fire department lights off fireworks. The big thing this town has was just last weekend.
Yeah. Do you have any like festivals or things
like the Fireman's Ball?
What is that?
Fireman's Ball is just like for the volunteer fire department here. Everybody comes in. They have like this little parking lot. You know where the tropical snow was yesterday?
Yeah.
That whole deal, they block off that entire like block.
Right.
And then they just have barbecue.
Like a block party, but for the fucking whole town, basically.
Yeah, and people from everywhere.
That's sweet.
But they have like barbecue.
And then you pretend like you're special needs and go up on the fire engine.
Never done that, but
oh yeah, you've never done that.
But they like have brisket, ribs, like they have different like competitive barbecuers that come in, and you can just like you grab a plate for $1, and
for $1,
yeah, you walk around and
just
get as much food as you can eat.
Oh,
and then
I'm coming back for that.
You buy tickets for like alcohol, like beers or whatever. And they make frozen margaritas. Oh, my fucking God. You could get so shit-faced.
Nuh-uh.
And they have bands. They usually have, like, 2 bands sing.
Nice.
At it. It's pretty cool.
Speaking of alcohol. You just looked at me like I asked if you wanted to have sex. Oh, I don't know if this is going to be contained in the shot. Like I said, we're not in the studio. We're in a different, and if you're wondering what I'm looking at the reflection in the TV. But we don't quite have the same, I know it doesn't have the same feel with the 70s wood panel background at the old Grass Daddies studio. Yeah, we're getting a little interpersonal here. You know, it's a good thing. It's actually good that this podcast isn't popular because, man, it'd be so easy for people to find you if they really wanted to. Yeah. So hopefully by the time this does go viral and we're getting like, you know, a couple millions of views on each episode, you'll be long gone from this location and no one will be able to find you.
I don't really care.
It's like a time capsule situation. Oh, by the way, we're drinking some Busch Light limes, which I didn't even know. Dude, there's TikToks where people have like Busch Light banana, and it's 100% not real, or it can't be real.
It's like, you know what?
They're like photoshopped packages.
You know what they're doing?
It's almost like you take one sip of alcohol and you just come alive.
Okay.
You just got so amped up.
I love beer.
We're sitting here on this couch. We're going like, I don't know. So we're golfing later. I don't know what. We're hanging out. Then you take one sip and you're just like, you want to hear about my alter ego?
All right. So, are you on Facebook quite a bit?
Not really. I have it though. What do you mean by on it?
You know how there was the deal of the breastfeeding videos, like the conspiracy theory of the breastfeeding videos?
By the way, our voice memo lines have gotten significantly bigger.
Perfect.
The breastfeeding videos, yeah.
Yeah, like you couldn't go to Facebook Watch without seeing like a childbirth.
It was like the For You page.
Yeah, like a childbirth or tits or something like that. Like, what the fuck? And it was just like the most random thing ever.
You'd be like on your regular just homepage,
yeah.
and then you'd be like, I'm going to scroll over to the marketplace, and then you'd be like, why is someone skinning a peach? And then you'd be like, oh,
yeah.
that's not a...
That's a baby's fucking melon. But...
That's as fresh as it gets.
Facebook blue balls me all the time. Not because, whoa. Not because of the breastfeeding videos and the childbirths. Sorry. There's people that post sequels to movies coming out.
Okay, why did you have to say blue balls for that?
Because they're not real.
Oh.
Like,
I know
people
what
are
you mean.
like Step Brothers 2. Somebody posted Step Brothers 2, and I'm like, no fucking way.
Yeah.
We got Happy Gilmore 2 and now Step Brothers 2.
Which the Happy Gilmore 2 thing, I was like, is that real?
Yeah.
That's probably not real.
Actually real.
And then it is.
See? So, like, I hate it.
This reminded me of another thing.
Because there's so many good movies and people are, like, posting it. And that's what people are doing with Busch Light.
Yeah.
Like the grape and banana.
The grape. And then I was like, no way. Because that would be fucking fire.
Banana?
And it looked, no. The grape.
maybe.
Well, I like grape.
You know, yeah, I like grape too, but I'm just saying, you know what kind of I feel like set this all in motion?
The like photoshopping Busch Light
No.
boxes, or just the fake movies, or what?
All the different kinds of beers.
What?
The Happy Dads.
The Happy Dads? How?
Because they started coming out with like the grape, the Death Row Records grape.
Yeah, but
Happy Dads are
Different-
seltzers, aren't they?
yeah, but like different beers have been doing. There is so many different flavors of beers, and Happy Dads is relatively new.
I got something that's gonna blow your mind that I just found out. So you know Michelob Ultra?
Yes.
Have you had the cactus, lime, and prickly pear?
No.
Okay. Have you had the infusions?
No. Michelob Ultra infusions?
Yeah, it's like they're prickly pear, but they have like 2 of them, and I didn't realize that because I was like, "Oh yeah, I like the infusions," and I went out to the golf course here, and they're in like the same can. I was like, "Can I get the infusions?" And they're like, "No, you mean?" I'm like, "Infusions?" Like, no, these are different. And I'm like, "No way, no way."
So, anyways, yeah, I was watching TikTok and I saw that Busch Light grape, and I was like, nuh-uh. And then I looked at the comments, and they're like, look, you can see it's taped, and they like zoomed in, and it was like the guy made or like printed onto cardboard or something and like made it, so it wasn't real. And there was like Busch Light banana. So then I saw that, and I was like, that's not real, but it is real, and it's really good. You know what it's like though? And it's along the same lines as the fake movies. Mm-hmm. It's the whole Boy Who Cried Wolf thing.
Yeah.
Where when you pretend to do something for so long, and then when you're trying to be serious, no one believes you. I've been starting to do this at work a little bit since I've gotten promoted to a more managerial position. I'm not like the head honcho by any means, but like if I have,
You can make waves
I can
if you really wanted to.
I can direct people around a little bit, or if someone
Yeah.
messes something up, I can tell them to go fix it,
Yeah.
and they got to listen to me. And it's never when anything serious is going on. It's when people are just, finishing up a job or something like that, or people are walking around the shop. I'll like drive by and I'll like be sitting in my cart, and they'll be like putting something away or something, and I'll be like, can I talk to you for a second? And they'll like come over to me, and then I'll just drive away. I started by doing it to Early. Nolan and I were driving on my cart, and Early was blowing. He was on the Buffalo blower, driving around just blowing rough. And I like stopped, and I was like, I think I got off my cart to go talk to him, and he like takes his headphones off, throttles the blower all the way down, and then I just turn around and walk back to my car and drive away. So he's like, I think one time he turned it off fully. So now I was like, I need to stop doing this, because at a certain point there's going to be something where I actually need. I'm going to be like, hey, and they're going to be like, fuck you, and they're just going to drive away, and I'm going to be like, no, and they're going to be like, no, I don't believe it. I had a kid try to do it to me. I was like walking back into the offices, and he was like mowing the NGAT.
Yeah.
And he like was like messing with his like throttle or something. And he's like, it's not working. And I was just like, fuck. I was like, are you fucking with me? And he's like, come over. It's not working. And I was just like, are you fucking with me? And he kind of smiled, and I just kept walking. Anyways.
But see, that's cool though. That's nice to hear. Like the morale is like,
Oh, the morale is at an all-time high.
that's nice.
Now that we've had a little bit of change in management. We're not going to name any names or get into any specifics, but there are certain people that are no longer there that just seem to lull things to a level that weren't. I'm really trying to dance around the words here. Just didn't create a favorable environment for people to feel comfortable. Does that make sense?
And it sucked because I always really liked tournament days. It's like the same thing with my job now. I love bad storms because it's like, all right, now everybody's firing on all cylinders. We're all here for the same objective, like put out the best for what we can do. And then you have people come in the morning and they're like, "Yeah, we drank too hard last night."
But for a golf course, it's like that every day, or should be. Yeah. Every single day. I think of it like this, and I was thinking about this to myself the other day. Every single day is like a new project, or it's almost like every week feels like it's like season 1 of this. You know what I mean? It's like there's such a journey when it comes to golf course maintenance, where it's like, you know, because you have certain things you're trying to accomplish each week, and then you throw in events and tournaments, and then you have to like change your maintenance a little bit to like accommodate for the certain level of setup you're doing. And it's like a journey every single time. And it takes a lot of people to make it happen.
Yeah.
I mean,
like, you can't have a motor running fucking on half. Like, not to use the full cylinders thing again, but like half a motor running doesn't work.
Right.
You gotta
have all the parts working if you want it to work well.
Like a well-oiled machine.
Literally. But in order to basically, okay, let's think of it like this. You gotta have a good conductor at the helm of the ship or the train or something. You know, when there's a lot of moving parts and there's one overseer or a couple different overseers, those guys got to be locked in, not necessarily physically, but they are in charge of making sure all the physical parts, aka your workers, are where they need to be in order to make things run smoothly. Now,
and then if stuff goes to shit, they got to be able to like bring everybody back down on level head and just when certain things aren't working well, they've got to make sure they are. And a lot of times these jobs aren't necessarily the funnest thing in the world. So you got to take on the responsibility of making sure that they're still somewhat enjoying themselves. Yeah. Because if they're hating their lives, they're going to put out a shit product. But if they're having fun doing these monotonous jobs, then you're going to get a better result out of them. Yeah. And that takes a little bit of effort from the boss. And that's what you just said made me think,
resonated with you a little bit?
Yeah. Because that's why I think I always want to do the shitty jobs. Like, somebody's like, go out and weed eat. I'm like, okay. Like, that's not that bad.
Do you think it's because, I know if I do it, I'll maintain a good attitude and nobody's mood will be brought down.
Exactly.
Versus if someone else gets sent out to do it, they're going to pout, and I just don't want that for the crew.
Exactly. And that's like,
I feel that.
It always pisses me off. Like, you're doing a shitty job, and I'll just tell people straight up, like, if you're doing a shitty job, they come in with a fucking negative attitude. I'm like, now you're making it miserable for fucking everybody else. Because you're in a shitty mood, and it's like, we're all doing the same job. We're all here together. Like, let's just fucking work together, get it done, and we'll be done.
Again, like we talked about when we were going to dinner last night, we're not going to name any names, but we're at the point now where we could probably start telling some stories if we wanted to, and be okay. You know, you could tell stories if you don't name any names. Technically, no one knows who you're talking about. But yeah, we had a guy that previously worked for us. That doesn't work there anymore. And just like we talked about, he kind of would bring the mood down sometimes.
Come in, tell everybody what they're doing while he's hungover and feels like shit and just sits there and does nothing. It's like, okay. That's like
I'm kind of leading it. Maybe I'm not doing what I should be doing right now, but I'm kind of like, I'm not naming any names because I still work there, or really getting into too much detail, but it's kind of like I'm leading my horse to water, but I'm not going to force it to drink, and I'm going to see if he drinks. So. Well, you don't work there anymore, so you can kind of let loose a little bit. I know.
But like that's something.
Just don't name any names. But I honestly don't care.
That I always thought was fucking stupid. You're essentially my boss, and you're telling me what to do.
Not essentially.
He was my boss, and you come in all hungover and with your butt buddy. You guys went out and drink, and so it was like a mutual agreement for them. I don't know if it actually was, but it's what it felt like. We go out and drink together. I'm not going to make you do a hard job in the morning. I'm going to let you milk your hangover. And it was unfair to everybody and kind of puts a fucking nail in it because you come in just because
wasn't fair.
You're friends with this guy. You go out and drinking. Now he's your boss, and that's illegal in a workplace, but
technically they should have told HR.
Exactly. But everybody knew about it.
I'm just kidding. I don't think they were actually dating, but
no, but it's still like we could get in trouble if I still work there and you're my best friend and you gave me easy jobs because now you have a management position. You don't got to be dating, but you just got to be like.
Yeah. But and it's another thing too. It's another kind of jab when that person is judgmental and says, you need to be more mature and you need to basically when they're an absolute hypocrite.
Oh, it was so fucking he was so fucking conniving. It was ridiculous.
Conniving.
It was ridiculous. It's like, you know what? Everybody go out on a big-ass canoe, right? You take the entire team, our entire workforce we had, and you go out in the ocean, and you're stranded in an ocean, and you have a canoe. Well, in order to get to that beach, everybody's got to row because you want to go in a straight line.
Right.
And they come in, and they're like, I'm tired. I don't want to. So everybody else is rowing, and it's like a one-legged duck swims in a circle. Yeah, that's what it was like. You have the rest of everybody trying to work hard for something, and your boat's just sitting here going like this in a circle because guys are only canoeing on this side. So then everybody sees that, and so you kind of flip sides. Well, now you take half the party and spread it out even thinner, and it just feels like it's the most inefficient way of doing something because some people just want to sit on their ass and do absolutely fucking nothing because they're lazy pieces of work. Oh.
Can I tell you? So I shared a lot of these same feelings as you. I may not have been as outright verbal about them, but there'd be times where, I didn't have a lot of respect for this person, but I still was respectful. And, I understood I had a job to do. And when they would tell me to do something, I would do it because they were my boss. It's not like I didn't. Yeah. But it was tough for me to, look in their general direction. But it was
smell in their general direction.
But it was funny when we would be like in a morning meeting or something, and they would be. This was my favorite, and I think about this a lot. We'd be in a morning meeting. And they'd be talking or saying something, giving input, giving their general thoughts, or even giving direction. And I would look at Cam, and I would love watching you look at them as they're talking, and I could just see the amount of just hatred and loathing in your face as you're listening to them talk, and you're just like, I hate that I'm sharing the same air as you.
Dude, there was so many times in the morning meeting
I wanted to just stain in your eyes,
reach across the table and just fucking floor him. Oh. And then it was so bad. This guy is a boss and be like telling everybody what to do and would stand up and walk outside and throw up. This happened.
I don't think I was there for that. It was on a weekend.
Yes, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I literally just wanted to, just walk out. And so, when our big boss goes, where the fuck's Cam at? I'd be like, the fucking guy you have being my boss right now went out and puked because he's hung over in a fucking morning meeting.
Yeah, and then I get told, I need to keep it together.
Yeah,
Then I get judged for
no shit.
Whatever.
And you like me. Okay, when I worked there, I just turned 21. What do you expect from a 21-year-old? There's going to be a little bit of partying. There's going to be a little bit of hungover. Oh, but I do that. I get like fucking
chastised.
Like I'm like this big. Everybody looks at you like you're like this big.
They look at you like you're an irresponsible young adult.
53 years old or like 48 to 53. I don't know how fucking old he was. I didn't really care. Can go out and act like a 21-year-old and still have the position he had was fucking mind-boggling.
My horse is lapping up that water.
It was so... It's like somebody sending you into war. Like, could you imagine like your sergeant or something going, yeah, we're going to get shot at. Okay, you guys.
Well, you are.
You guys go have fun. I'm going to sit right here in base and just play with my dick.
Yeah.
No, fuck you.
There's certain types of leaders. There's people who lead from the front, people who lead from in the middle of the pack, and people who sit back and point the finger.
Even when they first hired him. Yeah, I'm lapping up that water now because I don't give a fuck. When they first hired him, he had like 20-some fucking jobs in like 10 years. Like,
kind of a red flag.
A huge red flag. Fuck. He can't hold the job. And like at that age, that's the age that you're like,
you bounce around from place to place when you're kind of young and getting your footing for that career path.
No shit.
Like that's expected, but when you're like getting older and you're bouncing around from place to place, it's kind of like, well, why aren't you staying put anywhere for any extended period of time?
And you'd go, yeah, I made this much there, and I love my job.
It's like, well, why aren't you there still?
Exactly. And it was just always like, the whole thing with him being there was so open-ended.
And he was always telling us when he was applying for other jobs, which, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that seems a little irresponsible to be telling your employees that you're on your way out.
Well, exactly. And then like
when another job opened up, you're like, yeah, I applied for that. It's like,
or like him as my boss. I'm fucking one of the hardest working like people there, and I didn't care what I did. I could be working on sprinklers every day and muddy every day, and I wouldn't give a fuck because. And then he goes, "You should apply for this job."
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Basically saying like, if you left, I wouldn't care.
Yeah. I'm like,
it's like, what?
Dude, I make
Is that what you say to your hardest worker?
No shit. Like, no, your hardest fucking worker, you should be like, hey, no, how can
your
we
hardest fucking worker,
what can I give you
when they apply for a job?
Stay.
If they apply for a job and they think about taking it, you counter them and say, I'm willing to pay you more to keep you here.
No, but if I told him I was applying for a job, he's like, see ya. Like, you know what I mean? Like, fuck you.
And it's because you didn't want to be friends with him.
And I didn't like who he was as a human being.
His whole shtick was, hey, do you want to go like get a drink after work?
Which cool.
You know, which is fine, but if I don't want to, then you can't hold that against me at work. It was like he would invite people to, and granted, I don't think he had a whole lot of friends, which is sad, but I don't necessarily
be a more likable human being.
Well, and it's like, just because I don't want to be friends with you or do stuff with you outside of work, now you're holding it against me?
No, the reason why I never wanted to be his friend is because it kind of felt like a cult. Like, if you're his friend, you're supposed to, like, worship him and do everything he said.
Okay, I don't know about that. And you know that's not true either.
No, like, okay, yeah, that might have been a little far, but...
That was a bit of a stretch.
Sorry, but, like, no, like, the only reason why he wanted to be your friend was for his own good. He literally did it to us. He started out, and me and you showed him everything, and then once he got comfortable with his job, it's like,
yeah,
like off, like, and then you. So this guy confides in you. You get him comfortable with his new position, and then now you're just fucking chopped liver to somebody. It's like that's kind of a low blow. And then the next week he's like, "Hey, you guys want to go out and get a drink? Fuck you." No, I don't want to go get a fucking drink.
And then the one guy we were talking about that kind of did take him up on that offer, and they kind of became close. That's the same guy that would start getting the easy jobs. So it's like now you're talking about having someone with there's exterior motives outside of the workplace. You know what I mean? I don't know. They weren't necessarily like doing anything sexual. I mean, that was a fucking.
We don't know.
That was kind of a joke, but.
Well, we can't say that because that could get us in trouble for defecation.
Defamation. Defecation is when you shit.
Well, he always smelled like defecation anyway.
Okay. So, what I'm trying to say is, when there's exterior factors outside of the workplace that are influencing inside the workplace, that's when you start getting on a slippery slope. And I mean, you can come at us if you want, but. I don't have any skin. I didn't do anything wrong. You're the one that was, you know what I mean?
That's why you can't date in a workplace. Is because you
can. No, literally, you can date a coworker, but you do have to like let HR know. Like I think that's typically how it works. Like if you're in an office setting and you start dating a coworker, you kind of have to like let it be known so there's no.
Like, everybody knows. It's out there. So, if people see it, then they're like...
Then they understand.
Yeah, but...
Like, there's, like, teachers and stuff that will get together.
True. Yeah.
You know, it's not illegal to date a coworker. I think just in certain instances, you have to, like, tell HR.
When you start to make their job easier or...
That's...
Pawn it off to other people, that's when it is...
That can't happen.
You're a boss. The biggest moment I have with that was on the driving range. You send him out to teach a guy that has no experience of irrigation work. And they fuck up huge. Like, brand new head. Brand new swing joint. They fuck it up. What happens? They get an easy job while I get sent out to fix their fuck up. No, that's not how you do it.
Everything was just ass backwards.
Somebody fucks up, you go and fix it. You don't, like, just... And then they get to take credit for it? Like,
I don't know if they necessarily took credit for it.
Well, we didn't really know what we were doing.
Praise wasn't given to the rightful... It's not like they were like, thank you to so-and-so for doing it. It was just... It was swept under the rug, and it's like, is no one understanding that...
Like, there was multiple times with this guy that I'd be working on irrigation, and I needed parts. So, wouldn't you just send the guy that's working on it to go get the parts because he knows exactly what he needs? Or make him write it down, and then this said guy goes, yeah, I'll run and grab the parts.
AKA, I'll take an easy job.
And, you know... While you're waiting...
technically, if you're the manager, you should be staying on property to oversee things.
While you're waiting, why don't you go dig up this hole? Or why don't you go dig up this sprinkler?
Yeah. Keeping the heart...
Why don't you go dig the fucking sprinkler, and I'll go get the fucking part? And, you know, that is the one thing that my job now is kind of big about. It's like somebody kind of saying, no, that's not my job. Right? We've had that.
It's like, I don't want to do that, and I'm pulling rank.
We've had that, and it's kind of stupid because then again, we're all working for the same project or the same outcome.
But it's almost as if you have your own agenda or you're trying to worry about your own needs and you don't care about the greater good of the overall project. You're just worried about making sure you don't have to lift a finger or do anything too hard.
Who I am as a human being, I get the utmost satisfaction out of finishing a job. It could be something so small, but once I finish it and I can like sit back and look at it, it's awesome. But this said guy he's a boss, so he would see something that needs fixing, but it's not really what he wants to do. So if I'm out changing cups, there'd be 5 holes left. He'd come take over, and I would go do that said shitty job. And it's like, okay, well, I just got no satisfaction out of that. Like,
right, you didn't get to finish your original job.
And it's like...
And he did the last bit of it.
Yeah, like, let me swing in and do the... It's like a fucking relay. You're running a relay on a track, right?
Right.
Everybody else is hauled ass around the track to their next person to
Right.
get you to where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
But that last guy, there's a little hiccup. He fucking hauls ass and gets ahead of everybody. Who does everybody praise? The guy that won the race, not the guys that have fucking worked their ass off to get you
Right.
to this point.
But it's a little different because the anchor of the race ran the same distance as the other ones. But your case scenario would be like if he took the baton at the last 20 meters instead of running the full last 100.
Yeah.
Or like if you ran the mile and he took it for the last 100 meters of the last lap and was like, I won.
Yeah. Or this guy that was friends with.
I can tell you're getting so worked up about
My favorite
this.
thing is, my favorite moment was like dragging or blowing after a verticut.
Okay. Dragging?
Yeah, like pulling the drag or like after aeration or something.
Dragging sand.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or like tee boxes.
Right.
This said person would go finish their job. And
Which one? The bigger one or the smaller one?
the less stinky one.
Okay, I'm there.
Would finish their job. Well, it was... I always loved, like... I didn't want to sit on a mower all day because my ADHD wouldn't allow that. But once in a while...
You have ADHD?
Yeah. That shit courses through my veins. Sitting on a piece of equipment and just doing that for a day is... We didn't get any days off. So that was my day off. Like, there's time we get one day off a weekend. Okay. But we're coming into Handwater that afternoon.
But your day off, what you're saying is your day off is when you got an easy job.
Exactly. Like,
You got a break.
Like, I didn't mind working long hours and long days with no days off when you throw in
If
that.
you sprinkle in an easy job that kind of takes
Yeah.
some of the physical stress off your
Yeah,
body.
exactly. Like, I can sit on a mower for 5 hours this afternoon.
This is a
Perfect.
nice rest.
Yeah, exactly. My body's getting rested. I'm still working, but my body's getting... And then you're like, oh, man, this easy job's so nice. Oh, I'm going to have him come do that, and I'm going to have you go
Take
do
over
this.
for you and do it, and then you
Yeah.
do a shit job.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you've been doing easy jobs all fucking morning. Fuck off. Like, I don't want to go dig a hole when it's 110 degrees outside.
What it really comes down to, and we can kind of wrap up the episode with this, but what it really comes down to, and what it really, how I felt about it was just, I don't care what I'm doing or what you're doing as long as it's fair.
Exactly.
As long as the workload is
And there's
evenly
gonna-
distributed.
There's going to be people out there that would be like, don't be such a bitch. Yeah, well, you know what?
Technically speaking, if you're in a managerial position, you don't physically have to do as much work because they're paying you for your brain and your overseeing skills. But at least for the workers, it is refreshing though. Like, as a boss, you don't have to do it, but your workers are going to respect you a lot more if you do pitch in physically. But what I'm saying is, as long as everything is fair, then no one has any ground to stand on as far as, well, how come he gets to do that and I have to do this? If everyone is doing the same amount of work,
Yeah.
then everyone can, it's like going through an ordeal together. You'll come out bonded and stronger as a unit on the other side if you all go through something hard together.
Well, and
It's like a football team. If you all work your asses off at practice, then when you get done, you can all be like, that was hard, but I'm glad we're all done and we did it together.
You remember when it was like fucking 120 and 115?
You mean like every year?
No, that one year that it was like real bad.
Yeah, I do.
And we were hand watering. And they're like, yeah, come in. Fine. Come in, hang out. The first days, it was fine. And then the days after that, it was like, why are you guys in here? It's like, you literally told us to come in here.
Yeah.
And then towards the end, it kind of started being like, there's times to chew ass, and then there's times to be like, yeah, I know this fucking sucks. I'm sorry we got to do it, but we got to do it. And then that started to happen. And that moment, it was like, even those two guys that I fucking despise were out there with you. It's like, I know it's fucking hard, but let's just fucking get through it. And it's like the same thing. Everybody's working at it as
I would have held more respect for them if they pitched in more.
Exactly. It's what I'm saying is, and there's so much to take from this conversation into actual life. Like, fuck, even now, I married now. It's like sometimes you think about like that shit, and it's like, okay, well, it happens around our house. Like Bailey, sometimes she doesn't have any clients, so she comes home and she's cleaning the entire house and does all that. Well, I've just been out working in the heat, and then I come home and I'm like, fuck, I'm tired. I just want to lay on the couch, go to sleep. But then you look back to those moments, and you're like, I'm doing the same shit they did. Just because I had a rough day or something like that, I could help pitch in a little bit. Even a little bit counts.
Right.
But just don't let it be one-sided in anything, I guess. And there was always going to be shitty people in the world.
Absolutely.
And now I just don't give a fuck. So,
absolutely.
But
until next time, thank you guys all for watching. That was a great episode. First episode, we might do another one later. A little bit more.
We might bank 4 or 3.
Might bank 4. I don't know.
Because this is pretty fun, just sitting on the couch.
This is pretty easy. Wish we could get paid for this. But yeah, if we end up deleting this episode, it's because we were sued for defamation. But hopefully, hopefully that doesn't, or defecation. Hopefully it doesn't happen. TikTok, Spotify and Apple Podcast. I mean, we do have a TikTok. Spotify and Apple Podcasts for audio only. Subscribe on YouTube. All that bullshit. Go over to TikTok.
Yeah,
we got a TikTok account posting.
Jake's been kind of holding some shit down while I've been gone, and
well, Cam's been in Antarctica. I've been holding shit down.
Yep.
Do you have anything you want to say to the folks? I mean, your name is still like I put your shit in the description for all the episodes still because
I'm not gone.
I still consider you a grass daddy.
I actually forgot the last time I was in Lincoln, we got the shit so I could record. And just the other day, I looked at Bailey and I'm like, I still need to get that. And Bailey goes, you fucking bought it.
Yeah,
you have the shit to record. I'm like, fuck.
So we're still going to work on getting Cam set up so we can do like remote recording sessions. I don't know how it'll work. We're still figuring out how to get we 100% could get the audio up. I don't know about video.
For the first couple times, it might just be audio only.
But we'll see.
At least it would be easy to just throw in a couple episodes
right
here and there. So, yeah, but thanks.
I hope you guys all enjoyed that
listening.
episode. Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed that. Listen to it. Ruger, you got anything to add? Thank you. Until next time, if you all pull in the same direction, you'll come out a better unit on the other side.
Exactly. Keep your shoes tight, kid.